What you've just clicked on will change your perspective of Minecraft forever. From the discovery of a fourth host, to a battle with the fate of the multiverse on the line, to the shaping of an entire dimension, and even the most powerful being in all of Minecraft. That's right, my break is over, the grind is back, and this is the story of the greatest Minecraft theory ever told. This all starts with the Minecraft Multiverse Theory. It's a theory that I pioneered 5 months ago that Mojang has confirmed in one of their books. But to put things simply, Minecraft started out in one singular world. How the world, or even life itself, was created, we may never know. But as the real-life multiverse theory depicts, this Minecraft world branched out into several different universes. Every time a decision was made or a random chance event happened, the timelines split. Now, a key point in this multiverse was a timeline that looked like this. A massive underground world full of lush caves and sniffers. As I proved in this video, the Overworld, Nether, and End all branch off from this timeline. In the Overworld timeline, the caves above collapsed, causing the entire world to become flat. However, the life that survived started to thrive on the surface, whereas larger life forms that weren't able to survive the collapse went extinct, only to have their remains hidden beneath the ocean. As for the Nether, what happened is that players started putting in furnaces and releasing greenhouse gases into the air. And if you're like me and you don't believe in global warming, the Nether is an enclosed space, which makes it way hotter way faster. From there, all the mobs were forced to adjust to the heat as lava flowed through the once lush overworld. But what I didn't really talk about in that video was the End. How was the End formed? Well, I don't really know. In both timelines, there's bedrock on the bottom of the world, so the bedrock would have to have gotten removed somehow. And not only that, how are the islands floating? Well, let's look at some previous theories about the End to see what we can get from them. You see, the game theorists made a theory a while ago about the End, where players entered the End and started eating only chorus fruit, which caused them to turn into Endermen. And something that supports this is that the Endermen in Minecraft actually speak English. Here are some sound clips of Endermen talking. I mean, we hear Enderman sounds all the time, we just don't think of them as English. Another theory that we can get quite a bit from are the hosts. The hosts in Minecraft Legends are sort of dimension-traveling guardians that protect the Minecraft worlds from harm. In Minecraft Legends, they protected an alternate version of the overworld from piglin attacks. However, we're fairly certain that there's a fourth host. The three hosts that we know of are called Action, that looks like this, Knowledge, that looks like this, and Foresight, that looks like this. But there's a strange pattern happening with them that you probably didn't notice. As you can see, Action has 1 eye, Knowledge has 2, and Foresight has 4. As you've probably noticed by now, we skipped number 3. Not to mention that the hosts had this central conference table where they all talk. As you can see, it's a 4-sided table with 3 hosts. Also, take a look at this shot here.
You're afraid. We all are.
No. I am just sad that it has come to this. Shall we begin?
We can see that Foresight looks off to the empty side of the table, where I personally think that there was a fourth host. A host with 3 eyes. Bearing that in mind, let's look at a theory by Zatrix. Zatrix's Broken God theory is the most popular video on his channel, and honestly, it's kind of a good theory, although it does have quite a few flaws. First of all, near the start of the video, he says this.
Enderlings, part of Ender, Enderscent, Enderscent? A strange name to be sure, but have you ever stopped to think about this title? Their name reveals a clear and distinct connection. God sent. This realization was shocking. I mean, the implications are utterly game-changing.
But by that logic, bone meal and oatmeal are also similar. Just because the term sounds similar doesn't mean it's the same. However, the references that he makes from the overworld architecture and things like the windswept peaks are completely irrelevant to regular Minecraft because this overworld is different from this overworld. Even though the overworld events in Minecraft Dungeons happen long before the events in Minecraft, in order to go from the Minecraft Dungeons overworld to the Minecraft overworld, lots and lots of plants, animals, and fungi would all have to go extinct. And in the time that happened, the terrain would have shifted drastically, which as we can see, it doesn't. However, I do believe that the End in Minecraft Dungeons is similar to the End in the overworld, mainly because everything in the End in Minecraft Dungeons is similar to everything in the End in Minecraft. With the exception, of course, of things created by void power, which is something we'll touch on later in the episode. Anyway, although Zatrix's theory does have some flaws, there is a little we can take from it. You see, in his video, he mentions that in Rise of the Archillager, the Nameless One tells Archie that while his orb pulls power from the night, Archie's orb pulls power from somewhere far beyond. And given there's lots of evidence that the Orb of Dominance originated from the End or some End-like being, we can tell that he's talking about the End. But all I've done so far is given you a big information dump, So now it's finally time to reveal the big theory, the greatest story in all of Minecraft. You see, it all begins with the hosts. The hosts are powerful beings from another dimension who discovered how to travel in between worlds. There was action, knowledge, foresight, and Ender. The hosts traveled dimensions exploring their new powers, whereas Ender only wanted more. So using his unique abilities, he forged something unlike anything seen in the Minecraft multiverse. He forged the Orb of Dominance. The Orb of Dominance was a part of him, a lens through which he could focus his power, similar to the One Ring in Lord of the Rings. Within it, he created his perfect and most powerful form, the heart of Ender. Over time, this newfound power corrupted him, and he didn't just want more power. He wanted an entire dimension all to himself. So he traveled to an overworld somewhere in the multiverse, and using the power in his orb, he corrupted it. A sickness tore through their land, dissolving the bedrock and gnawing away at stone. The void grew plentiful and more powerful with the loss of the bedrock. Animals, villagers, and even players all fell to this tragedy. He continued to corrupt the world until all that remained was a barren wasteland in the void, filled with corrupted fruit too toxic to eat consistently. And the power that he drew from the void was enough to keep even the mighty hosts at bay. But then something happened that he wasn't expecting. Players from another dimension found out how to enter his domain, something that until this point the hosts were unable to do. He watched as the first intelligent life in years walked through his lands. He witnessed how they ate the chorus fruit and were slowly morphed by it until eventually they turned to Endermen. They retained a power that only the players had to break and place blocks, but also gained the ability to teleport on command. But where most would see nuisance, Ender saw utility, so he enslaved the Endermen, commanding them to fight anyone else who dared enter his domain. The Endermen were so good at their job that he created more beasts in their image. He created the Washlings, the Snurlings, and even the Great Endersent, and they lived in cities that are mere ruins today. Now at this point it feels fitting to remind you that Ender isn't a god like Zatrix says, he's just a very powerful being. Anyway, he constructed the ultimate outpost in the overworld, High Block Keep, a structure with massive doorways to allow the Endersent to travel freely, and balconies only accessible through the Enderman's unique teleportation abilities. Until one day, the hosts had had enough. They'd had enough of Ender's conquest for power. They rallied mobs, golems, and even some players, and all of them made the ultimate stand against the most powerful being in the Minecraft universe. And in this battle, the Great Ender was finally defeated. Although to avoid capture or death, he sent the Orb of Dominance, the heart of Ender, the very fiber of his being, into the overworld, hoping to one day rise to power again. Hundreds of years later, when the war was forgotten, he ensnared the mind of a young illager by the name of Archie. Archie, being one of the weakest illagers ever to exist, was happy to accept this newfound power. Ender created a staff, atop which he sat, to create the illusion that Archie was wielding him, whereas in reality, he was wielding Archie. Although in the end, a group of brave heroes were able to defeat the Heart of Ender. Once again, he made an attempt to flee, but Archie, unwilling to let go of his new power, held on tightly, until eventually the force between the two caused the orb to shatter. A few of the shards scattered across the land, ensnaring other mobs. A good number of them were turned into command blocks, as I proved in my Orb of Dominance theory. But one lucky shard was found by an Enderman, and taken back into Ender's domain. There he absorbed the void energy and regrew his power. He wasn't in his full form yet, but he was fully prepared to take on any foes who faced him, until eventually the great heroes made their stand, fighting Ender again. Here it's revealed that his new, more powerful form is covered in many eyes to signify how much greater he is than even the mighty Foresight. And so the battle commenced between the strongest being in all of Minecraft and a few mere mortals. Ender being at the lowest point since before he was a host, all the creatures that he'd created through the void were lost. The End returned to the barren wasteland it was when he created it, leaving the only inhabitants as the Endermen that he didn't create. Although he still had control of the Endermen as his last loyal servants, his grip on them slipped a little bit as his power was no longer anywhere near as great as it once was, and he took his final form. A form that he'd been playing around with as a backup plan for many, many years now. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Ender took his final form as a dragon, the Ender Dragon. So he sat in the End, guarding his domain and attacking any that came through the portal, as he awaits to one day grow to his full strength again. The Endermen in the Overworld, who are supposed to be stopping you from entering the portal, now only attack you when you look at them. As they don't wish to remain slaves of Ender, they give you little hints along the way. So there you have it, guys. Greatest Minecraft theory ever told, in my opinion. And yes, this does invalidate my original End Crystal theory, but come on, guys, I made that over a year ago. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to subscribe, and goodbye.